This week on Rescue Vet. In an unforgettable week, I experienced the highs and lows of treating the street dogs of Sri Lanka.
Oh my God, look at that. That's just one of the most disgusting kidney dishes I think I've ever seen in my life.
Facing challenges and diseases I've never seen before.
Yeah, this is a disease that can kill you. It's the brutal truth of working as a vet here in Sri Lanka.
As I work alongside an extraordinary team.
Oh my God, look at that!
Who put the people and animals of Sri Lanka at the heart of everything they do.
The joy that they approach everything with, it just inspires me every day. And so to get to work with animals is just incredible. It's a dream come true.
I'm Dr. Scott, and this is Rescue Vet. My mission to help animals takes me around the world, and today I've arrived in Sri Lanka. Home to 3 million street dogs, each a part of the island's rich culture and community.
I actually visited Sri Lanka a year ago and fell in love with the street dogs that live here. And there are a lot of them, 1 for every 8 people that live here. But despite them being cared for by the wider community who act as their guardians, their custodians, they're not owned in the classical sense. And that does mean that sometimes when they're sick or injured, their healthcare is neglected. When I was first here in Sri Lanka and I started to look into the street dogs and their struggles, I immediately came across Janie.
We love you.
She's a British vet who has dedicated nearly 10 years of her life to the street dogs of Sri Lanka. So I absolutely knew that I wanted to come back and volunteer at WECare Sri Lanka to try and help.
So why did you want to be a vet?
When you apply for vet school, they ask you this question, and the last thing you're allowed to say is, because I love animals. So I was like, why do you want to be a vet? Because I love animals. Like, you're not allowed to say it, but really, that is why, I wanted to do it. For me, they're just everything. I just love the way I can make them feel, the way they can make me feel, the innocence they've got in the world and the joy that they approach everything with. It just inspires me every day. And so to get to work with animals every single day is just incredible. It's a dream come true.
Janie founded WECare after travelling through Sri Lanka and discovering the urgent need for veterinary care for the street dogs.
When I got here, I was just really shocked at the number of street dogs and the condition of them as well. Being out on the street without veterinary care. My plan was I was going to go home, quit my job, be young and free. I just thought, I'll set something up of my own. It'll be small. I'll just neuter loads of dogs, spend a year, and then come back to real life. And then it kind of snowballed. We never got back to the UK. And yet now I'm 10 years in. We've treated about 20,000 dogs, and it's so hard and so much harder than I could have ever anticipated. I think if I'd known the journey that was ahead, I don't know if I would have made the same decision, but luckily I didn't. We have high highs, we have low lows, but every second is worth it when you just, you look at these guys, you look in their eyes.
In the past decade, Dr. Janie has transformed her charity from a one-woman mission into a thriving team of passionate staff and volunteers. Each person shares the same unwavering mission to care for the street dogs of Sri Lanka. And this week, I have the privilege of joining them as their latest volunteer.
Thank you. Hi, Janie.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Thank
Welcome
you
to
so
WECare.
much. Oh, I know. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. How are you coping with the traffic?
The traffic, the climate, the tuk-tuks, it's a lot going on.
A lot to take in. I'm going to give you more to take in. Come
Okay,
on in.
great.
Janie started WECare from her home, treating dogs in her front room, but as the demand grew, they rented this property, an old nursery that Janie and the team have adapted into an animal hospital.
So this is where the magic happens. And these are the people that deliver the magic. So we've
Hello.
got India over here.
Hi,
She's our
Scott.
nurse. We've got Simone down here,
Hi.
our vet. And it's where most of our critical patients will be. So we've kind of got everything from maggot wounds to road traffic accidents. This guy had a pneumothorax, so a lot of limb fractures, a lot of pelvic fractures, and unfortunately a lot of spinal fractures.
Yeah, street dogs, so lots of
it's a risk.
interactions with the cars.
Yeah, it's definitely a risk factor, but it's something that we definitely haven't made peace with. But you know, for me, I'd rather a dog had 6 healthy years on the street having the time of their life and having that risk of the road, as opposed to 10 years, you know, cooped up in a 1-by-1 cage outside, which is the reality for a lot of owned dogs here in Sri Lanka.
But with the charity's growth and the tough conditions in Sri Lanka, the building has, well, seen better days.
This is our 1 bathroom on the property. This is for 50 people.
Wow.
It also doubles up as where we keep our cleaning products. It also triples up as where we bath our dogs. So you could be on the loo and you're getting a knock on the door. Come on, we've got to bath 3 dogs. You know, they're major. We're being resourceful.
It's a far cry from my practice in the UK.
Surgery.
Theatre, yeah. So I'll
this
turn
looks
the
more
mic
familiar to me.
Come on in, yeah.
Why do you have everything covered in plastic?
Well, you busted us. It's because we're in a rented property and the roof leaks incessantly, and we do have huge issues with monsoon rains here in Sri Lanka. You know, it's stressful for the team. They could be dealing with an emergency. Literally, a dog could be crashing and we're going, it's raining, so everyone's having to run around and put the covers on, and you know.
I do hear that actually what you've got here is kind of the best of the best here in Sri Lanka, but clearly there's still some issues.
We're so fortunate to have what we have, and we're so thankful for everything, but I guess it's, you know, it's just gotten to a bit of a tipping point where we've grown too big, we're treating too many animals, things are starting to fall down on us, literally. We don't need to be shiny, we don't want some fancy new shiny hospital. We just want something that works.
It doesn't leak.
And doesn't...
That's not too much to ask, really, is it?
But
just so you don't have to do surgery whilst ducking a drip.
Honestly.
Not the challenges I was expecting to face in Sri Lanka. Dr. Janie and her team's resilience and dedication to street dogs is truly remarkable. With their kennels always full, it's clear just how urgent their work is.
So this is what we call middle kennels. So it's one of our kennel sections, and this is our girl Effie.
Hi, Effie.
She's lovely. So Effie was actually impaled on a metal rod only a few weeks ago. She was at a building site and she fell onto these metal poles that had been pre-placed for a concrete pillar to go in. We were alerted really, really quickly and managed to go out. We had to do a full sawing and sedation of the pole, and she came in here with the pole still in her leg. So her name is actually, it's clever, it's F-E, like iron, you know, off the periodic table. So now we call it Effie, but...
I'd almost like think it was like you see it and you go, effing hell.
Yeah, it might be that, yeah. I know, you're so lovely. We'll come in. Let's see if we can... And then this is where it came out on the inside.
Oh my God.
It's got a bit of
millimeters from the femoral artery, like this dog
or this one,
could have easily just bled out.
Yeah, absolutely.
The work they do here is truly life-saving. Without them, dogs like Effie wouldn't get the veterinary care they so desperately need. Once she's fully recovered, she'll return to her established territory, with her guardians keeping watch. But that's not possible for all the dogs they treat.
So, these are some of our garden dogs.
Hello.
Hey, babies.
Oh, and I see, a lot of them losing or missing limbs.
Yeah, we like to make a bit of a jigsaw puzzle with our dogs. They all slot together somehow.
Hey, who's this guy?
This Fernando. So he came to us as a tiny puppy, and he had degloving wounds on both feet. He'd been run over by a Tuk Tuk.
Oh, baby.
And we weren't sure if we could save his feet, and we've somehow managed to. And but he obviously came to us as a little puppy, so he hadn't solidified his territory at that point. So we can't put him back on the street anyway, but even more so, he is a bit of a special needs dog. So he is walking on feet that are slightly deformed there, so we wouldn't feel totally comfortable putting him back even if he had established a territory. So he is going to be, well, he's up for adoption, but actually we had 2 volunteers a few weeks ago who fell in love with him. So now they're going to, they're thinking about taking him to the UK.
And whereabouts? Oh, to the UK.
Yeah. Yeah, so they're really, I mean, how can you not fall in love with him? He's ridiculous, aren't you?
So sweet.
You're ridiculous. We do put amputees back on the street. Animals that can manage really well on 3 legs, they will go back if they have established their territories. Most of the dogs you'll see here, are we shouting at monkeys? Excuse you. Sometimes we will actually have to admit monkeys. We see them if they fall off power lines and things like that, but most of the time that we see them here, it's when they're causing mischief. They will sit on the fence or in the tree and they'll just pick pieces of fruit off the tree, wait for the dogs to come past. You can see this unfold, and then they just lob it.
No way. Gosh.
I mean, they are naughty monkeys, yeah. Yeah.
Cheeky little monkeys.
Yeah, they are.
Your particular charity is very skewed towards veterinary treatment and actually very little on the shelter side. And is that because you're actually treating dogs that by nature don't want to be enclosed, don't want to be contained?
My expertise is in veterinary medicine, but I do firmly believe that it's not my place to come into Sri Lanka and try and change the whole landscape. What I'm here to do is try and understand the culture, understand how things work. And there is a place for street dogs in Sri Lanka's society, within the communities. These aren't stray dogs. They are dogs that have been on the streets for generations. They live within the communities. They'll often have multiple guardians. This person who feeds breakfast, this person who feeds lunch, this person who feeds dinner. And so it all works really, really well. And the only thing that they're missing is veterinary care.
It isn't long before that veterinary care is put to the test and the real challenge begins. We've just received a call about an injured dog with a nasty wound at the docks. So it's all hands on deck to rush out and collect our patient. Yeah.
So I think we better go and catch him. They've managed to corner him and keep him in a place. So when that happens, we just have to jump on it and go now, if you're all right with that.
Go? Yeah,
let's
absolutely.
Rock and roll.
All
right.
right.
Let's go. Thank you.
In Sri Lanka, there really is only one way to get around, and that's a tuk-tuk. Though it's a tight fit for Tashari, Janie and I. So whereabouts are we here?
So we're in a place called Suduwela, which is pretty much one of the most southerly points of Sri Lanka. It's a harbour, which means it's full of dogs.
Yeah.
They're always full of dogs because it's a great place for them to get fed.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, there's a lot of leftover fish, so we do tend to see a lot of dogs in these areas. And what we find actually is that the fishermen help us so much with the dogs. They know each individual, they know what's going on with them, so they're really helpful if we ever do need to do a rescue in a harbour. But we might not even need Kamara and his skills because he's been trapped, which is so helpful for us.
Very handy.
It's not the norm. Try to tie him up, you can see there.
I see. Hello, pup.
Hi, sir.
Hello, sweetheart.
Come on with her.
Hello. Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But there obviously are perils for you because you've handed me a muzzle and clearly these dogs can't always trust humans.
No.
So you really have to have your wits about you.
Definitely, and you do get caught out. Sometimes you think, oh, this dog looks mellow, I'll jump in, and next thing you know, you've got a bite on your hand, and we're obviously in a rabies endemic country, so that's very risky. Particularly over the course of the last few years, Sri Lanka has had not such a reliable income of rabies antiglobulin injections, so the stuff that you get when you go to the hospital after you've been bitten. So sometimes supplies completely out, in which case you're pretty screwed, Okay,
well, I'm going to let you go and bite yourself. Off you go.
With this.
There you go.
Let's see how we go. It's all right. Also, you see the amount of ticks in his ear.
Oh my gosh. Look at that.
You're a good boy. I'm just going to slide this on, baby.
Good pup. Good pup. That's it.
Good boy.
Well done, Janie. Good stuff. That's definitely something you've done multiple times before.
We've got a bit of practice, haven't we, Tashari? Right, so we'll try and undo this.
Yeah.
A fisherman definitely tied these knots.
Yes. It made sure that they couldn't get away. It's just no bad thing. How many vets does it take to untie a dog? Let's just say it's a team effort. So
It's not. I can't get it off here.
Yeah, so that's you're doing the clear one. We're going to do the red one.
This is the easiest rescue until now. It's like the krypton factor.
Got it. The red one's done, so now we just got the yellow one and the clear one.
The clear one's done at this end.
So there we go. Pull the rope off. Wow, they really wanted to make sure that this dog didn't get away and got the treatment that he needs. Well, she needs. He needs. He.
Now that the dog is free, we can get him into the tuk-tuk and rush him back to the hospital to start treatment as quickly as possible.
So no pass or? Wow, okay. So tuk-tuk is a great way to get around here in Sri Lanka, but it's maybe not the best animal ambulance.
Yeah, no, got it, yeah.
Oh my God, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay, it's a squeeze. Yeah, we're going!
Now back at the hospital, we can get a closer look at his wounds.
Oh my God, look at that. Oh, it's just ridiculous. Look at that, how all ticks. The poor dog has been eaten alive. And there's the wounds.
Mate, they're TVTs.
Are they?
Yeah.
TVTs, or transmissible venereal tumours, are a type of cancer, sexually transmitted between dogs, which can be fatal.
We see them really commonly, and they can kind of, most of the time they're on the genitalia, but they can be technically anywhere. And sometimes you see them manifesting on the bridge of the nose because a dog's actually gone up behind another dog with this TVT, sniffed it, and the, you know, the spores, the cells have gone up their nose essentially.
Wow.
And it's a round cell tumour. It's getting less common as we're doing the big neutering programs because that's how we prevent spread. So what we've got here are some fly eggs around the outside of this tumour, this mass scar.
So that sort of white dusty appearance.
Yeah, exactly. So they will, given time, if they're not removed, develop into maggots. Hey, welcome to the world.
Hi, buddy.
Welcome to the world. His gums aren't too tacky.
So he doesn't have a name as yet, and he's probably never had one.
No?
Can I give him one?
Yeah? What's your suggestion? I'm gonna veto if it's rubbish.
Okay, well, because he looks a bit like a dingo, I
Yeah.
think probably call him Aussie.
Yeah, that's lovely. I don't think we've ever had an Aussie.
Hey.
Aussie, Aussie, Aussie.
Oi, oi, oi.
Oh, he's lovely, isn't he?
Tashari and I have the gross job of removing each of Aussie's ticks by hand.
That's just one of the most disgusting kidney dishes I think I've ever seen in my life. And that is saying something for a vet because we put lots of disgusting things in kidney dishes. So Tashari, how long have you been working here for?
6 years.
6 years?
Yeah.
Wow.
I like for the cat dogs always.
Yeah. So you literally straight from school you went into working in a vet clinic basically?
Yeah. I like this job for WECare. I like now working.
Good.
Very happy to work.
Yeah, well, I can see how good you are at it as well.
Yeah.
And you're very strong. I wanted to pick up that dog and you were just going, oh, I'm fine, I'm fine.
Ticks removed, we can now refocus our attention to Aussie's suspected TVTs.
So we're going to start on some antibiotics for all of these.
Yes.
Start chemo.
It must be quite difficult for you to almost manage your own expectations, where a dog like this, I look at it and go, this is critical, but this is nowhere near as bad as some of the ones you see. So how do you balance that in your own head?
This is nothing. This pales in comparison to the things we see. What is difficult is that at the moment we are only able to take in around 30% of what's actually reported to us due to space issues, resource issues. We are a charity, obviously. We need to raise all those funds and we need a bigger hospital. 70% of them are pretty much, you know, they're not going to be alive by next week because of a decision that I've had to make, which is just, and not just me, you know, our managers, our nurses, our vets. It's really, really, really tough. And I think it's the side of charity that isn't sometimes seen because, you know, we show the happy endings, the transformations, which obviously we want everyone to see, but you don't see, the fact that someone's in the office crying because they've had to watch a video of a dog that they know we can't get to because it's not critical enough, but in 3 days it is going to be critical enough, in which point it's probably dead, you know, or we might not have space. It's so hard when everyone is here because they love animals more than anything in the world, and to then see those animals in so much pain and suffering, have the skills to be able to help but not be able to help it's really hard. It's really, really hard, but we just have to take the the positives when we can, and know that, you know, we're making such a difference with these individuals, and the ones that make it here, we think there's no way we're going to save this, and then the next day they're sat up in their kennel asking for breakfast. So like, those are the moments where you're just like, okay, this is why we're here, you know, like we've brought that dog back from the brink.
It must be so difficult when you're on the road a long way from the hospital and you've got a critical patient that I assume every now and again die in your arms en route to the hospital.
Sometimes we do get there and they're just clinging on, and we are racing back to the hospital. You're either in the tuk-tuk with the patient, or you're here waiting for it to come back. If you're here waiting for it to come back and you're all prepped and ready, and like, you know this is critical patient, you go to the door and it takes its last breath as you get to it, it's brutal. What's more brutal is sitting in that tuk-tuk with that patient on your lap, knowing you're there, you can't do anything. Space is so limited, so even if you had equipment, you couldn't really do anything. This dog's on your knee or in the footwell.
I could barely get into one, so I don't know. You couldn't really perform surgery or put an IV catheter in, could you? So,
no.
Yeah.
So it's often a case of you've got this dog and you are just praying it holds on till you get back to the hospital, and you're sat in a tuk-tuk with a dog that is agonal breathing, which is like trying to take its last breaths. There's nothing you can do as a vet or a nurse.
Yeah.
It's heartbreaking, you
so
know.
Do pet ambulances exist in Sri Lanka?
Not as far as I'm aware, but we're making one at the moment. So we've got one in production, which I think will transform what we can do. So we're going to clear out all the chairs. That will give us space to have oxygen therapy, fluid therapy, all the monitors that we need, all the pain relief, all the sedation, everything will be in there. So as soon as we get our hands on that animal, we can start treating.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a game changer for us. I really, really do.
Saving lives, and by doing so, it's saving the mental health of the people that are doing it.
Totally. Particularly in veterinary, as you know, we have one of the highest suicide rates of any profession in the UK. I don't know if that's directly impacted you, but it has directly impacted me. One of our previous volunteers and one of my friends, you know, succumbed to that. And I think it's so important that we protect our team, and if that means, you know, hustling until 3 a.m. to try and get a bloody ambulance, you know, I'm going to try and do that.
It's quite a sobering chat that I've just had with Janie about how it is to be a vet in Sri Lanka and the logistics of working in this country, treating street dogs, prioritizing them, all the infections and illnesses that they have, is a lot to shoulder. Vets carry a really heavy emotional burden when it comes to our patients. When we lose them, particularly ones that you could have saved, is going to cut really deep. So I just really hope there's something that we can do to help these guys, because they are all heroes. They're doing such wonderful work, and it's just lovely to be amongst them.
The hospital is a whirlwind, with calls pouring in constantly.
Dr. Janie?
Yeah?
But one urgent case has just come through, and we need to respond right away. 2 puppies have been reported by their guardian showing worrying neurological signs, struggling to stand up.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you. Right, we'll go and get that. I think we need to see that one. Thank you. Well done. Simone, Scott.
But as more information is being fed through to the team, everyone is worried the puppies might have rabies. Rabies is a contagious and fatal viral disease affecting both animals and humans. If the team's suspicions are correct, it could pose a serious risk to the local community.
Rabies can incubate for a period of time, so it takes time for clinical signs to show. Though they were actually seen by our outreach team, got vaccinated, etc., but we're thinking they probably could have contracted rabies prior. But obviously this is a concern for the whole community now.
The community is concerned about a rabies outbreak.
What we're trying to work out at this point is, obviously it's a public health concern. When we do have a rabies outbreak, we have to manage it as such, which includes mass vaccination, a ring vaccination protocol essentially. So we're trying to ascertain which puppies we bring here, and which ones we actually leave there and do as an outbreak response.
In Sri Lanka, rabies can only be confirmed post-mortem. So with only 2 puppies in the village showing signs of the disease, the team must make a difficult decision to save both animal and human lives.
Almost like we've got to, not horribly, but almost sacrifice those guys to save these guys, or whether it's...
Gosh.
Yeah, so there's a lot of thought goes into it. There's a lot of responsibility on our shoulders, so we're just discussing what the best.
Well, I see none of you take this decision lightly, so it's a team decision, and I can imagine you have the highs. This feels like one of the potential lows.
Yeah, but like smokers, maybe we get there, we're lucky this time, and it's something else. You know, it might be distemper or something we can, let's see.
Rabies is a virus with a 100% death rate. Everyone is on high alert. The community is very worried. The vets are very worried. I'm very worried. Okay, after you, Shari. Sit.
We face another heart-wrenching 20-minute tuk-tuk journey before we can reach our patients.
As a vet professional, you are putting yourself at risk, just simply even going out to see them, aren't you?
Yeah, it does feel like a bigger risk in some ways not. Going out, it feels like a huge responsibility, to be honest. You get better at recognizing it, you get better at protecting yourself, protecting other people. The information you give out is invaluable.
For me, a first time to ever have dealt with rabies as a vet.
And even the first time that I saw it, it's excruciating to see, especially the animal that is suffering, and also the stigma around it for reason enough. People are really scared of it for good enough reason. There have been also people dying of it recently, which hasn't happened in a very long time, but that is, we are seeing that more. So yeah, it's not something we take lightly at all.
Looking at these two, it's quite worrying, I think. Certainly this one at the front has got these sort of shaking, slight neurological symptoms, very weak, can just about pick up its head. And then the other one at the back, I think, was moving around, according to the story back at the hospital, now also is equally flat. So what's your first impressions of these two?
Definitely not good. Distemper can actually present quite similarly, to be honest, especially with the tremors or like the muscle fasciculations and movements. But yeah, the distemper tests sometimes are a bit hit or miss. So yeah, it is one of those situations where it's extremely tricky. Yeah, extremely tricky. But again, once you do see rabies a few times, you just start getting a feel for it.
What's your feel?
I think I need to get a bit more hands-on.
It's crucial we gather as much information as possible from the guardians and local community. Without the option of testing to confirm our diagnosis, we must piece together every clue to make the most informed decision.
Both of them are always inside. Okay. But any other dogs that might have died in the area in the last few?
One dog is coming for the neighbor. He don't know which dog, who the guardian is.
Random strange dog.
Yeah, he's passed away.
He died yesterday.
Yesterday. Don't know anything.
Okay.
That is not a good sign.
This area.
A dog not from this area showed up yesterday and
then died.
passed away.
Passed away.
Can you ask her, did anyone see the dog just before it died? And was it showing any strange behaviours or any symptoms or anything at all?
Dog is very suffering. Personal is coming for outside.
But she saw it salivating from the mouth.
This one never see. This neighbor see.
Okay.
There's nothing about that conversation that makes me feel happy or confident at all.
I am obviously more and more suspicious of rabies. So yeah, I guess we just kind of get all the history that we can so far. Yeah, you're right. It does seem very suspicious of rabies. And it is common at the moment. So
It's a worry as well because that lady is the mother of a son and they've been clearly being good guardians and caring for these puppies, but they've actually unwittingly put themselves at risk.
Yeah, yeah, that is a conversation that we will have with them. Let them know that maybe they should go to the hospital and get a preventative.
Yeah.
We're never really quite sure as to how much they do know about rabies. Often, yeah, it's just called like mad dog disease.
If they define it as mad dog disease, then they're only actually looking out for the symptoms that present in, you know, half of the cases.
Angry dog, yeah.
Not the other half of cases that look a lot like this, the sleepy, comatose puppies.
Yeah.
So they'll be going right up to them thinking, oh, they're unwell, touching them, whereas they're scared of the rabid looking ones.
Yeah.
It's quite dangerous. That's why education is so important.
Yeah, no, it is really important.
All right, so should we pop on our PPE and get cracking?
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, so, but, oh my gosh. So it's very clear that safety precautions are paramount. I'm just double gloving right now. Wearing PPE in 30-degree heat outside, and I'm glad for it because this is a disease that can kill you. Okay. Got it? Yeah.
Oh, they have another dog in there.
Oh gosh.
Okay, come on in. I know, baby. I know. You're scary. You're scary. It's alright. It's alright. Hey, Bubba. I know.
It's okay.
I know.
It's okay, sweetie.
Okay.
So what are you looking for signs of rabies?
At the moment, I'm just going to do a neurological exam. Something odd happening with that third eyelid, isn't it?
Yeah. That's very delayed, isn't it?
This could definitely be rabies. There is something about the look in their eyes that once you kind of have seen a few rabies cases, you...
Is that right?
I can't really describe it. It's more of like a glazed over.
Yeah. And you're seeing that in these dogs' eyes?
Potentially, yeah. I definitely don't think it looks good. You just watch the twitching around the throat as well.
Mm-hmm. So
and the
another
way
issue.
the eyes are flickering slightly.
All right, sweetheart. It's okay. It's okay. Shh. It's okay. Hey.
Okay, I mean, I think the rest of the physical exam, we would kind of do at the hospital in terms of like the PPR and putting them on fluids, giving them some pain relief, and then it's just monitoring.
Okay. I know. All right. So as much as she's in a bit of distress, actually you have to wait to get back to the hospital before you can administer any medication.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
It's difficult working in the field. You've got limited resources and limited transport and, there's so many challenges.
Yeah.
That's one. This one looks a little bit more...
What's this? Yeah. So this one obviously doesn't look as reactive. I would say the eyes aren't doing the same thing yet.
Mm.
Hi.
Hi, Mum.
Your mama.
Apprehensive mother.
I'm sorry, baby.
That's it. Good girl. Well done.
But look, I'm saying. Here and the other puppy can go.
Go in the other one? Yeah.
Yeah. Baby. Where's the mama? Has the mama said bye? Sad, man.
That's devastating to eke out all the information that's associated with this case. It just shows how vigilant you need to be because the whole community is affected. You think of WECare just helping the dogs of Sri Lanka, but they're absolutely helping the people. These people, they've been loving them and cuddling them and caring for them. And now to break it to them, which is exactly what the team is doing, that this lady and her son are at risk of contracting rabies and they need to go to the hospital right now to get a vaccination.
Thank you, thank you.
The owner's in tears. I think she's overwhelmed. She's overwhelmed that she's got two puppies that are almost certainly going to lose their lives, but obviously now frightened for her son and herself. It's the brutal truth of working as a vet here in Sri Lanka.
Oh, please tell her we're going to try and save them, give them medicine and bring them back if we can. Sorry, miss.
It's absolutely devastating. The Guardians love these dogs, and it's heartbreaking to witness. And on top of that, we now face a 20-minute journey back to the hospital to start the puppies on pain relief and fluids.
I think it's just kind of hitting me what we might have to do for one of them.
Yes.
I mean, I've just been sitting with wondering whether to give like a drip and pain relief overnight and kind of see whether there's any improvement, but my gut is kind of saying
It's only going to deteriorate.
yeah, I mean, that puppy is like actively suffering, and obviously through the videos it has been progressive, so I'm not sure whether at this stage, even if it is distemper or something else, I feel it is justified to make that call, and then maybe we can send off, send him off for testing, and then get the results by tomorrow morning to kind of be able to manage the situation. So
to sort of try and protect or help to gauge the treatment for her sister. It's almost like she's going to kind of,
I mean, I'm just thinking at this stage, I guess we still really need to, I feel like I know enough, but we're just taking a moment at a time and maybe discuss it with the other vets as well, since with rabies cases, when we are making calls like this, often it does help to chat to other people and have some kind of be on the same page about things and not feel like you're making that decision alone.
Yeah, I mean, because I can see how heavy that decision lays on your shoulders, so to share the burden is probably the best.
So yeah, we'll see.
Sorry.
We're taking the puppies in the back of the hospital straight to the isolation unit to minimise any risk to the other dogs. And the team are waiting to give Simone the support to make the difficult decision.
So yeah, just a quick rundown. Even from the videos Scott mentioned, it does look progressive, which I agree. One of them has progressed quite a bit, and to me it does look suspiciously like rabies. Second opinion, third opinion would be nice to have. The other sister, she hasn't progressed quite as much. If the one that is kind of deteriorating, I do feel like even if it was distemper or something else, it just looks unusual neurologically. So I am leaning towards potentially calling that one. And then maybe having some answers by tomorrow as to what we might need to do with her sister.
So you want to wait till the end of the day to make a decision?
Yeah, give her some time. I also did speak to her guardian, who was in tears, and I did say that I would try something. So I'm not feeling 100% about just like euthanizing it as soon as we arrive here.
No, it's fair.
So yeah, I guess that's where we're at.
The decision is made to keep the sisters on fluids and pain relief, monitoring their progress over the next few hours.
I'm exhausted both emotionally and physically. It's just really difficult because you can see that these puppies are unlikely to make it. That's an awful decision for anyone to have to make. And yeah, so it's just so much. These vets and nurses and support staff just do such an incredible job. They're dealing with this every single day. I just honestly don't know how they do it. Street dogs are a totally different breed to dogs back in the UK or in any other Western country. But they are cared for and they are loved. And I think it's just different, but it's not wrong. So it takes a bit of understanding, but certainly seeing today and seeing that lady's genuine tears really brought home that street dogs matter to the people of Sri Lanka.
A few hours later, the severely ill sister has only continued to deteriorate, and a decision has been made by the team.
So unfortunately, the decision's been made that the puppy most affected by what seems to be rabies will be euthanized, which is very upsetting for everyone. At the moment, we're going to be moving the sister out for obvious reasons, and then we'll be performing the euthanasia. Simone is in her full PPE again. Seems very solemn, so I know this decision's hit her hard, but unfortunately, these hard decisions need to be made, and at the same time, by getting this done quickly, we can get some of the remains off to the lab to get a quick result, and that will then massively impact on the treatment of this poor puppy's sister. So constant balancing, and it's tough. I'm sorry for her and sorry for you that you have to make this decision.
Yeah,
It's tough.
Right. Yeah, it's tough.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
hopefully she goes off calmly and kindly and nicely.
Yeah. In the most humane way, we'll definitely sedate her before we euthanize her as well. So yeah, think of everything every step of the way.
Yeah.
Hey, little girl. Hi, baby. What'd you think? Oh, buddy. Come on. Good girl. Good girl.
So it's done. As a vet for a very long time, I've countlessly euthanized animals, and it's a really tough part of the job. To watch that was really hard. I think it was the right thing for the patient, but to see the weight of that decision on Simone's shoulders particularly, I think it was heartbreaking. So, that puppy was very much deteriorating, and we have done the right thing by ending her suffering. But the suffering of the community and the suffering of the vets here carries on.
Now we must wait 24 hours for the results to come back. Today will undoubtedly be one of those days I'll never forget in my veterinary career. It's a stark reminder of just how crucial WECare's work truly is. It's a new day. As Dr. Janie put it, in this job, you face the lowest lows and the highest highs. Thankfully today, we're celebrating one of those unforgettable highs.
It's a huge day. So our Tuk Tuk Ambulance is arriving today. So
wow.
yeah, we've spent months and months designing this thing, getting it fabricated up in Colombo. It finally arrives today, so we're just waiting for it. It's been on a 5.5-hour journey down from the city.
Well, so everyone seems so excited. I mean, and also, what a useful bit of kit. I mean, seeing you squishing into tuk-tuks and having no space, I mean, this is going to be amazing.
Yeah, you've experienced
it,
so you know.
I just want to be able to treat them in the field. That's going to be so handy.
Yeah, yeah.
Is this it now?
It's here!
Here it is!
Oh my God, look at that!
Wow, look at that! Wow, look at that!
But this is the first time these guys have seen it. I wanted to keep it as a surprise. What do you guys think? Happy?
Yeah, it's amazing. So
it's going to be good. Get in there, Tashari. Show us when you're going to be rescuing dogs. Yeah.
Go on then. Go on.
It's just cool to see their reactions. You know, like it's for them. It's so that they don't have to see, you know, the horrible things that they see on the way back in the other tuk, which is dogs dying on them essentially. So this is going to be amazing that everyone can feel useful, and this thing is going to save thousands of lives. It's not just going to be one or two, it's going to be literally thousands, which just, even those words coming out of my mouth just make me so excited. It's life-changing, it really is, yeah. It's a huge point in our history. We've been working towards this for 10 years. So yeah, something that I won't forget this day, you know, for the rest of my life. This is Georgie. He's one of our very first patients from back in the day, and he inspired us on so many levels. He was a bundle of energy. We lost him way too soon, but this is his legacy, you know? This is going to go on to save lives. He changed ours, and now he's going to change thousands of lives. So the hope is that we will have a few more of these to add to our name. So at any one time, we have 3 tuk-tuks out on the road rescuing dogs from here, there and everywhere. And so if we could have kind of 3 as a minimum of these, it would mean that all of those dogs are getting and cats are getting equal chance at survival.
Not only is it functional, but it's darn cute, is what it is.
That's WECare in a nutshell,
Yeah.
functional and darn cute. That's what we're going for. Yeah, no, it's great.
So cool.
I'm
And
chuffed.
like the emergency lights, I mean, you know, they're an added benefit, and
Yeah.
just shows people that you mean it, right?
Yeah.
This, I feel, is just going to get the treatment to the front line, as it were, to
Exactly.
where it's really
Yeah,
needed
exactly.
to be given straight away. It's going to save countless lives.
Yeah, absolutely. It's yeah, it's brilliant. I'm so chuffed. I don't have any more descriptive words for
It's
it.
great.
It's just great.
Good on you.
It's just
Wow.
good. It's all right. Yeah, it's
It's
happy.
great. Yeah,
It's all right.
yeah.
No, we're stoked. It's
great.
gonna transform everything. This is gonna be changing our lives every single day. You know, multiple times a day. This is gonna be helping us. You know, helping operations. So
Yeah, it feels like one of many, perhaps.
hopefully, I would love it, and it would just be. Yeah, the street dogs just deserve it. You know, they deserve what if they can fight the way that they do, we can get to them a bit quicker.
So, totally amazing to be involved with such a celebratory spectacle. This 3-healer, this mobile ambulance is going to make a huge difference to everyone here, but particularly to the street dogs of Sri Lanka. So we are going to do something that I've never done before on this channel. You guys are such amazing, passionate supporters of everything that we're doing, and I really need your help. What we're going to do is to try and get the money together for one of these ambulances for Dr. Janie. I think it's going to make such a difference. So I will be setting up a donations page. All the details will be on all of the comments and descriptions below, so do check them out. But everyone, let's come together as our rescue vet community grows and give ourselves a 3 healer. Should be amazing.
Next time on Rescue Vet, we take the Tuk Tuk Ambulance out to collect its very first patient.
It's a life-changing piece of kit.
2 dogs get ready to go home.
Yeah, Inca, hey. Oh, let me get your lead off then.
And the results of the rabies tests are in. To help fundraise for a Tuk Tuk Ambulance, please check out the links in the description below and on our social media pages. Any contribution, big or small, would mean the world to us. And please share this far and wide. Together, as a rescue vet community, we can make a real difference and save the lives of these animals. Bye for now.